For Courtney Burns, basketball is life, and Rhode Island College played a big part in her basketball education and her future career.
I started playing the sport probably when I was in first grade. I wasn't very good at it, actually. My dad almost made me quit like my second year. He said I wasn't aggressive enough on the court, and then if I wasn't going to play, he wouldn't let me play. Actually, after my dad talked to me that day, the next game, something clicked. I went out, was all over the place, and ever since then, I just wanted to get better. I knew going through high school that that was my thing, and I knew I wanted to play when I got to college.
Well, the first time I saw Courtney, she was playing in an AAU tournament. She caught my eye in a side court in a back gym, and once I went in there, I didn't leave the rest of the day. But when I saw Courtney play, obviously the talent brings a recruiter to the door and gets an eye on her, but she's honestly one of the hardest working players I've ever recruited, and that's really what drew me to her and built the recruiting process.
Honestly, I didn't know too much about Rick at all. Talking with Marcus, he was trying to change the program. I could tell just by talking to him that he was just really genuine and really wanted to change the culture and everything here.
The decision paid off for Burns. The program continued to improve over the next few seasons, reaching the pinnacle by winning the Little East Conference title, both in the regular season and the postseason, and in the process, they beat traditional conference power Southern Maine in that championship game.
That was probably my favorite memory of college. It was unbelievable. It still gives me the chills to this day to talk about that game. It was Rachel and Steph, Sin, and Nicole's senior year, and it was what we had worked for and talked about all year. And we actually put "Leave No Doubt" on the back of our jerseys because we weren't leaving it up to anyone else that year. We were going to make sure that we got to the NCAAs and we won that LAC championship.
That was a special team. It was a culmination of so many things, from recruiting, from player development, and certainly from just the kids' growth and their investment to know what they were capable of.
But after such a great season, and what would be a difficult decision for both parties, Coach Riley decided to move on to a Division I coaching staff with the University of Rhode Island, leaving Burns and the rest of the Anchor Women program in transition once again.
That was a really tough time for me. The senior class left. It was pretty much a whole new team coming in. There was a couple people left over, Mel Klein, Ashley Odell. But for the most part, it was a brand new team. We knew there was going to be a lot of new people on the floor. We lost 4 of the 5 starters. And I was counting on him being there to help keep it all glued together.
As far as Courtney going on into that year, I knew she had all the tools to lead what was going to be a much younger team that particular year.
Burns would go on to have a tremendous senior season, which would see the coaches in the LEC vote her on to the all-conference first team.
I mean, the individual awards are always nice at the end, but I mean, that wasn't my focus through the main year. I wanted to win back-to-back LAC championships. It didn't go that way, but I think we gave Southern Maine a pretty good game that last game, so I couldn't have been happier about that. Losing to Southern Maine is tough every time. It was tough. Senior night was really tough because I think that's the one game this year I think you could go back and ask any of them. There was nothing else that we could have done. It came down to that girl threw a shot up at the buzzer and it happened to fall.
The Anchor Women's season would end at the hands of Southern Maine in the LAC Conference semifinals. With Burns' eligibility spent, she decided to turn her focus to a new arena that would allow her to stay connected to the game she loved.
I knew probably my junior year that I wanted to coach. Being here and being part of the program, I wanted to have my own program. I wanted to be able to give back and give people the experience that I had in college. I debated back and forth whether or not I wanted to stay here at Rick or I wanted to go somewhere else. So I talked to Marcus throughout the season, and I said that I would like to still do the internship with him and didn't know if I could try it out at URI.
She needed an internship, and there was nobody I would rather put her with than bring her with me. So I introduced her to Kathleen DeLeese, my boss, the head coach at URI, and they hit it off really, really well. So I think that all the pieces were in place until some other opportunities came up for Court.
That opportunity would come from crosstown rivals Johnson & Wales University and their second-year head coach, Coach Corey Bullard.
Coach Bullard, he reached out. He was looking for an assistant. So we were talking about Courtney already being at URI as an intern, or planning on being at URI as an intern that fall. And I think he was excited by her and just said, look, I really would still like to talk to her if it's okay with you. It's a little different opportunity than an internship, and that's kind of where it started.
I ended up emailing the coach the next day just to say a little bit about myself and that I would like to apply for the position and come for an interview. So we set up an interview. I went over there, he took me around the campus. We talked about the program, where he sees things going, and he offered me the job the next week.
Her new position with the Wildcats means she'll coach against her current school and former teammates come January 9th, which puts her in a little bit of an awkward situation.
I was just excited. There wasn't any doubt in my mind that I was going to take it. The girls, they give me a hard time, but they're good about it. They wish that I was here, but they're excited to play in January, so it'll be fun. I'll be excited. Obviously, I'll be focused on the game. It's going to be treated like any other game. We want to win, but I think it's going to be tough for me to be in the visitor locker room and being on the other side of things in my home gym. So it'll be mixed emotions.